Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mission Report, the Nintendo News Show. This is episode number 12. My name is James, and today I actually only have one really big item to discuss with you, and that is that Pokemon Champions, the new free-to-play game, we got a whole bunch of new information about it, and we got some information too that I find a little bit alarming as well. And I'll tell you what that is kind of later in this video. But I learned about this by browsing around on the Nintendo Store mobile app. And so this comes straight from Nintendo. It says, "Battle on, trainers! You'll be able to play Pokemon Champions soon. Pokemon Champions is a brand new free-to-start game that focuses on all the strategy and fun of Pokemon battles. Made for both new and experienced trainers alike, the game features familiar mechanics such as Pokemon types, abilities, and moves. You also won't need to wait long to play. Pokemon Champions comes out April 8th. And then there was a 6-minute video, and underneath that video it says, "Please watch the video for a deeper look at the game. Some highlights include..." Oh yeah, I don't really need all that. Anyway, so this is a 6-minute video over the game. It talks about how you can transfer Pokemon from the Pokemon Home app, and it even talked about how you can transfer them from Pokemon Go into the Pokemon Home app, and then into Pokemon Champions. It talked specifically about if you don't have like Pokemon Home and you don't have any Pokemon in there that you can switch over, you can recruit Pokemon in-game to be able to use them for a limited amount of time, is what it said at the beginning of the video. And then later on in the video, it said that limited amount of time on those free recruited Pokemon is 1 week. Next, it talked about the different battles, and so you can do single battles and double battles, which would be obviously a battle where you have one Pokemon and they have one Pokemon out at a time, or where you have two Pokemon and they have two Pokemon at a time too. In the real Pokemon games, I always thought the double battles were really fun. But we'll have to kind of wait and see how that plays out here. And then when they were talking about battles, we got a brief view at one of the menus, and the menu items that I saw were ranked, casual, private, online competitions, which they talked about the online competitions and basically said that it would be a it would have like kind of a revolving, like rotating custom rule set to keep things like kind of interesting. Similar, I think, to like event matches in like Super Smash Bros. Or like custom matches in Super Smash Bros. So I think that'll be pretty interesting too. But one thing that stuck out to me at this part of the video is that it doesn't appear like there's any way to play this any kind of like single player, which is kind of what you would expect from a free-to-play game. But I'll talk more actually about that later. The next thing that they talked about was the Victory Point system, or VP. And it looks like it looks like you're going to be using VP for a whole bunch of different things. It showed you using VP to increase the stats of your Pokemon. You can use VP if you've already recruited a Pokemon for the day. You can use VP to recruit additional Pokemon. And Pokemon that you recruit with VP are not going to leave you after 1 week like the other ones do. So it's probably going to be worth saving up your VP so that you can, if you see a Pokemon that you really like, that you'll be able to keep them long term. What else can you use VP for? There's a VP shop in game where, let's see, the shop that I saw had they kind of scrolled through it real quick, but the categories that I saw in the shop were held items, megastones, clothing, accessories, hair and cosmetics, pre-battle poses, throwing styles, victory poses, and battle songs. And on the VP cost on those items, I saw items ranging everywhere from 400 in the held items category to some of them as much as 5,000 in the throwing styles and the battle songs sections. I missed something. So in very, very early on, it shows a victory screen of a battle at rank 1, which I'm going to assume is the very starting rank. And the person is receiving 200 VP, which looks like it's not going to be enough to buy anything in the shop. But I wonder... I'd like to believe that there's going to be ways in-game to earn, like, bonus VP, and that there's going to be different events going on. And I'd like to also think that later in the game, once you get to a higher rank, that at higher ranks you will receive more VP for winning. But it's hard to tell from this 6-minute video that they put out. And that was pretty much the entire video. The VP system kind of just ended the whole thing. And my thoughts overall, I think it's very telling that they're not calling this a free-to-play game. That they're calling it a free-to-start game. And if I had to guess, I'm going to think that the VP, that you're probably going to be able to buy additional VP with in-game money. And I think that that's going to be the number one way that they make money off of this game. And I think some of the things available for purchase are going around online too. I saw a $6 starter pack and a $9 season pass. It was kind of unclear what a starter pack and season pass gets you. I don't think they've announced any of that stuff yet, but I'm thinking that there's going to be endless ways to, for them to make money and endless ways for you to spend money on this game. And this game's not for me. This game, I'm not a huge Pokemon fan. I've been enjoying Fire Red lately, and I've been enjoying Pokopia lately, and that's probably the first time I've gotten really into Pokemon since... it's been a long time. But I'm interested to see the people that do really like Pokemon, how they take to these things. And the thing that actually probably has me worried more than anything, or I guess would have me worried if I was interested in this game, is that I would be worried about this game turning into a pay-to-win garbage heap, because they've already established that your Pokemon that you can get for free, your Pokemon that you can get for free every day will leave you after 1 week. Okay? Which kind of means, like, to me, that reads that if you're not going to be using VP to buy Pokemon, you're basically every week going to be starting with fresh Pokemon. Or that you're going to have a rolling thing of every week you're going to lose probably one of your best Pokemon, which I think that kind of sucks. Another thing is that it seems like you can use VP for everything. You use VP to raise your Pokemon individual stats. It showed in the video using VP to raise the Pokemon's health and raise the defense, and you can use it for items that you can, like healing items and stuff, that you can then use in battle. And so I feel like all of this just kind of points to it being a pay-to-win thing, especially when you factor in what I just talked about a second ago, which was that the free Pokemon that you're going to be getting every single day, you're going to be recruiting every day, are going to leave you after 1 week. But then you still need victory points to raise those Pokemon's stats. So I guess all of this to say that I'm glad that I wasn't going to play this game to begin with, because if I was, I would probably be pretty disappointed with what they showed off today. But I could also be completely off base here. I think it's entirely possible that the game comes out and it's the VP that you can earn for free is so abundant that you never feel pressured to spend any money at all. But the thing that makes me doubt that is really, really their own wording, in that they called it a free to start game. And I guess that's pretty much all that I have to say about Pokemon Champions. A couple more things, though, that I think I should mention. It's coming out on Switch, on iPhones, and on Android devices in April 8th, which is here in a little bit, which is in about 2 weeks. And I think it's interesting that there's no Switch 2 version. I don't really know of very many free-to-play games that have a Switch 1 version and a Switch 2 version. Usually it's kind of one or the other. But I guess that's it. Guys, in the comment section, please let me know what you think of Pokemon Champions and everything that I've talked about in this video. Until next time, the best way to keep up with me is on Twitter and on Instagram at James_Solar. And I think that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next mission.